Good evening, and happy Thursday. Happy August to one and to all. For some of you, it may be Friday, so happy Friday to you. Prayerfully, everyone is enjoying their day and will have a peaceful evening or peaceful morning. I wanted to get on really quick because I did not have ample time to do a video and upload it because there are other things that I want to talk about, but I'm going to focus this particular video on what you see in the thumbnail. The United States reaches a plea deal with the alleged 9/11 architect. Now, I have to say alleged to be prudent and responsible. Hey there, Denmax, how are you? I am doing well. Thank you so much for coming by. So really quickly, hey there, the enemy's public, how are you? And I'm sure you've seen this story. Maybe not. I may drop the link just for a few. Hey there together, how are you? Happy Thursday and happy August. Now, those of you that have listened to me, and many of you don't, but those that do, did I not mention something will be coming down the pike as it relates to 9/11? It's just certain things that I know because I know. And I want to put the caveat out, and it's not because anyone has told me anything. So I want people to be clear of that. Now, quickly, Khalid Mohammed, who allegedly is the mastermind behind 9/11, and two others were accused of plotting on this horrible stain that occurred September the 11th, 2001. Now, the Biden administration, even though there are a lot of articles out there, and again, I'll put this out there, I implore you all to do your research, fact check, because we do know how the media is. But from some of the reports, this agreement will take the unalive penalty off of the table. Basically, that means 23 years. 23 years that the families of the victims who have been waiting for a trial may not be afforded the opportunity to see or hear any of the evidence, which is sad. And there are some that just want this over. There are some that believe that the unalive penalty wouldn't really serve as justice, and serving time out would be more cruel. I'm on the fence with that. Now, there was a letter sent to the families and victims that notified them that the three would plead guilty in March of 2022. However, one reason or another, things kept getting pushed back. And the agreement for the plea was their role in the loss of 2,976 listed on the charging sheet. Now, again, it is said that the Biden administration had no role in this plea agreement. This is stated to have come from the Office of Military Commission. Now, what I'm going to do or attempt to do really quickly, hopefully I can do it, is put up a quick document. Hopefully everyone can see it and get a screenshot. And you can see the August 1st date, August 1st, 2024, and it being under seal. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I have said and will continue to say from this point on up until November, do not be surprised with anything you may see or hear. And the enemy's public says, if they really knew, were in cahoots with those who took that plea deal, it will blow their minds. Absolutely, enemy's public. U.S. do the dirt with you, get the dirt on you. 9/11 was diabolical. Indeed, indeed. But I mentioned this maybe last night or the night before when I was closing out, that as we approach that date, don't be surprised of what you may see, what you may hear. And keep in mind, there are a lot of people that are still angry and upset. So be vigilant and also look for perhaps heightened security alerts that may go out. I am going to attempt to do this really quickly. I don't know if it'll work or not. I am on my phone. Let me see if I can post it. I'll see if I can. If not, I just won't be able to. But if anyone has anything they would like to say really quickly, you are welcome to come up. But again, I'm not going to say that I'm shocked, but the timing, everything that we see, that we're hearing now, look at the timing. Now, I'm going to be speaking on this hotties for Harris later when I get off work. I'm not sure how many people will be up, and to be honest, I'm saying that I'm going to be speaking about it, but I've been pulling some late nights, so I might be night. But while I have the energy to really speak on how I feel about this, and it's not going to be I told you so, because I don't do that, but it's just, to me, another form of playing in your face. And I'll leave it at that. Enemy's Public says, I did a stream a few weeks ago about new footage and information about 9/11. Many of you may know, some of you may not. I actually was at the Department of Homeland Security on that day. Civilians were allowed to leave. We could not leave. Actually, I was new and I had to man the situation room, and it was total chaos. And I will never forget, there was an older lady who had just put in her retirement papers. And because, as I mentioned, the civilians were evacuated, she had a heart attack and passed the very next day because of the fear. Now, mind you, at that time, the Department of Homeland Security was called the Federal Protective Service. And we were at the Navy Yard. So if anyone is familiar with Washington, D.C., we were at 3rd and M Street, Southeast, not too far from the monument. 10 minutes away from the Pentagon, just a quick trip over the bridge. I did not know that together. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes and ears open. And again, do your research. Think about, I'll just put it this way before I close out. Think about these unbelievable captures during certain election times. That's another thing I want people to think about, and don't get caught up in distractions. Major things that look or appear to be the impossible came to fruition under certain people's administration. Now, could it have been a coincidence? Some people may say. I don't, and I never have, nor ever will believe in coincidence. Not when so many hours, so much manpower, so much intel had been given to find certain individuals. But under the watchful eye of certain people, they were found and captured. I'm just saying, pay attention to the timelines and the players. The enemy's public says, my friend just had a heart transplant because he was helping recover those who perished. I'm not sick yet. Hopefully, I won't be sick. I was there also at Ground Zero. I spoke briefly on that, and prayers to your friend who had to go through with that. There are many families still. There are still people that are suffering from the residual effects. I'm not in New York nor anywhere close to, well, I'm not going to say that, I'm about 4 hours away, but absolutely near the Pentagon. So you can imagine, you can just imagine. Everything was at a standstill. We were locked in. I think I pulled between 16 to 18 hours a day at least for 3 months. I mean, it was a very intense, scary moment. And I remember going to a ceremony, and there were so many people filled with emotion. That is something, that is a day I will never, ever forget. And unfortunately, there were many women who were expecting. And unfortunately, their children will never know both of their parents because of what happened. Now, I am not going to go into any conspiracy theories. We've all heard and seen many of those. As the enemy's public just mentioned, new information has been coming out. I believe information and people have been researching this for a while now. It's tragic. And as I mentioned, we are on the heels of that anniversary. So, just in closing, pay attention to the timelines. Don't get too distracted. And that's the key word here. Too distracted. Hey there, Dr. Nikki, how are you? With other things that are going on. And as I mentioned, um, Dr. Nikki, I don't know how you feel about I'm just going to call it a S show in Atlanta yesterday with Megan Thee Stallion. But I planned to speak on that. I mean, if it's too late and if I'm too tired, I'm not. But for me, and this is just me, I'm still embarrassed. And I'll give you the reasons why later. But I just wanted to touch on this story about this plea deal where the alleged mastermind and two others reached a plea deal with the United States, which will take the unalive penalty off of the table. Excuse me. 23 years. Families have been waiting for a trial and evidence, which appears to be under seal. And I just posted up just a quick pleading that shows that. So there is a great deal of things going on, and I guarantee you there will be more as we forge ahead to November. If you haven't listened or thought that anything I've said has been accurate, I've actually been accurate on quite a few things. That's because I know. Because I know. That being said, I'm going to close this out and get back to work. Do your research. Again, Biden says, or it has been said, that the Biden administration played no role in this, and it comes from the Office of Military Commission, which is a part of the Department of Defense. So you put it together and see what you come up with. Thank you to those that tuned in. For those who may catch the replay, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave any comments as to how you feel about that. Do you think that this was the best? Or do you feel as though this plea deal will not serve justice? So, again, thank you to everyone. And until next video, take care. Bye-bye for now.